Welcome to the Workamper Show, a podcast devoted to helping you discover how to finance your RV travel dreams. I'm Steve Anderson, the president of Workamper News. Each one of our episodes will either introduce you to people who are already living the RV lifestyle or to opportunities to work short-term jobs. You'll also learn how to hit the road the right way and make the most of every opportunity. Now let's turn over today's show to your host, Greg Gerber.
Thank you, Steve. Today I'll be speaking with an employer who is seeking work campers for jobs at several national parks and recreation areas this summer. Today's episode is sponsored by Workamper News. With its Diamond and Platinum membership tools, Workamper News is much more than just a job listing website. When you put the tools of this professional service into action, you'll find out just how easy it can be to turn your work camping dreams into reality. The one-year memberships open the door to a one-stop shop for all things work camping. Being the original resource for work camping, you'll find the largest number of job listings, be able to connect with the community of work campers, and view resources compiled by experts who've been enjoying the RV lifestyle for many years. If you're serious about leading a successful and enjoyable work camping lifestyle, then a Diamond or Platinum membership is for you. You can even get started with a free 30-day trial by visiting www.workcamper.com/trial. Embark on new adventures today with the support of Workamper News behind you. Last June, I spoke with Lindsey, Jaroszek, the Talent Acquisition Account Manager with Aramark Hospitality, about work camping opportunities at the company's Lake Powell location, which sits at the border of Arizona and Utah. She makes a repeat appearance this week to describe jobs available yet this summer at several national parks in western states. Aramark contracts with state agencies and the National Park Service to provide guest services to people visiting various parks. This year, Lindsey is officially looking for people to work at Lake Powell, as well as Crater Lake National Park in Oregon, Olympic National Park and Forest in Washington, and Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. Work campers are needed in gift shops, restaurants, hotels, and campgrounds. Some are also hired to rent boats or other equipment, lead hikes, and conduct guided tours on land and water. Most of the jobs are seasonal, starting at the end of April or early May, and continuing through September and into October, depending upon the location. There are some year-round work camping jobs available at Lake Powell. Work campers will put in about 40 hours a week with 5 days on and usually 2 consecutive days off. It is possible for couples to enjoy the same days off if they work in different departments. For example, one person might work in a retail store and the other in a restaurant. A couple might work together in the same gift shop, but Lindsey said it's harder for both people to have the same days off. All the jobs are paid at rates that vary depending upon the location and position. Work campers will have to pay for their RV site, but at bargain rates considering the locations. Lindsey said that it's often just $20 to $30 a week for an RV site. However, work campers also get discounts in retail shops and for food and beverage purchases, as well as recreation opportunities like boat rentals. Some locations even include an employee meal plan. Later in the interview, Josh Butler describes his experience working at Lake Powell for several years. He started by performing seasonal jobs and worked his way up to a management position. To tell us more about the various types of jobs available this summer and how to apply for them, please welcome Lindsey, Jaroszek, the Talent Acquisition Account Manager with Aramark Hospitality, and Lake Powell Operations Manager Josh Butler to the show. Thanks for joining me today, Lindsey. I really appreciate it. This is your second appearance on this show. You're becoming a regular at this.
I know.
Yes,
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about Aramark and what it does.
Yes, thank you. So Aramark is a large organization. If you actually look up our names, a lot of people see us for some of the services we provide, such as food in different areas, facility services, and uniforms. But I'm here today representing what we actually have rebranded ourselves as our Aramark Destinations Group. What we do is we specialize in providing hospitality services in national state parks and other contracted hospitality venues around the United States.
And how many organizations or properties are involved in this Destinations Group?
In our Destinations Group, we have 40 plus different destinations and growing around the United States. Many, and they do span West Coast to East Coast.
Now, do all of them hire work campers?
No, unfortunately, they don't all hire work campers. Specifically, I wanted to kind of share opportunities we have at 4 of our main locations that do hire work campers and offer opportunities. Those are Crater Lake National Park in Oregon, Olympic National Park and Forest up in Washington, Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado, and Lake Powell Resorts and Marinas, which is right on the border of Arizona and Utah.
And all of those are beautiful locations and very popular.
They are. They're great tourist destinations and an even better place to work and live because you really get to get yourself ingrained in seeing everything that those locations have to offer.
Mm-hmm. And the kinds of services that Aramark provides include what?
We provide all the concession services within those locations. So what that means is we are the sole concessionaire doing the food service, the retail, the guest service, hotels, campgrounds, and then if there's any recreation involved, such as boating or hiking or guided tours, we provide all of those services as well.
That's a lot. That must mean you hire quite a few work campers every year.
We do. Yep. Each location will hire typically as many work campers as we can. Each of these locations have employee RV sites where we do hire multiple work campers, and then we also actually provide our own housing for non-work campers as well to be able to staff up these locations.
Oh, that's great. And so what kind of jobs are the work campers hired to perform specifically?
That's a great question. Our work campers can actually work in any different job with us. So what we like to say to work campers is, what's your passion? Maybe what are you wanting to do or have never wanted to do before? You can come do it with us. So we have work campers who are in our retail shops being cashiers. I have work campers who are actually CDL drivers running tours. I have work campers that work in our guided tours. Maybe it's, rafting or something else because that's their passion. And then we even have work campers who go into supervisory roles, administrative roles with us, whether they want to be in human resources or maybe a supervisor at the front desk of one of the hotels. It really is not limited within our operations. We will hire work campers to do whatever they're passionate about and then give them the opportunity to work and live inside that location.
How many of the places that Aramark manages would hire work campers then? You said not all of them would, but there are probably a bunch more than just 4.
Yep, others would. We just do not offer the sites on property for people to park their RVs,
Okay.
Which is why we typically focus on these 4. If you were interested in locating your own site to park your RV, then we do have, any one of our properties would hire a work camper, but only the 4 that I mentioned earlier actually offer on-property RV hookups.
Okay. And are these seasonal or year-round?
Good question. Majority of them are seasonal. So Olympic National Park, Crater Lake, and Mesa Verde are all seasonal. Lake Powell is seasonal for the most part, but we do have some year-round opportunities at Lake Powell.
Okay. And what does the season begin? Would that differ based on the property?
They're each going to differ slightly, but overall, you can expect a season with us to begin around April, May at each of those locations, just give or take a few weeks, depending on which one you go to. And then they typically run until about end of September into October. I would say Lake Powell has the longest season as they would work until early November, but the other locations would drop off at some point in end of September, early October.
Okay. And how many hours do work campers typically work?
So we do have work campers work about 40 hours a week. So we tend to do a 5-day on, 2-day off schedule.
5 on and 2 off. And so are those
Correct.
Consecutive days off? Or are they pretty much?
To the best of our ability, we try to grant everyone consecutive days off. So you get rest, get a chance to explore the area and do what you need to do on your weekend.
Is that the same for couples? Or would it be one person might have might they have different days off?
So couples could have different days off. What I recommend, though, is if a couple is interested in both working for us, as long as you work in different departments, and a lot of the times we try to make sure you have the same days off so you guys can go explore together. If you're in the same department working, so say a couple both wants to work in the same gift shop, it's a little tougher for us to give the same days off. So we would, in that case, it would be different days off. But say one worked in a gift shop and one worked as a server in the restaurant, as long as they can coordinate it out with their management team to the best of our abilities, we try to accommodate that.
And that gives them a little separation from each other, right? And just helps
Exactly.
them maintain that relationship a little bit.
Hey, you're living together, working together, you got to get a break somewhere.
That's right. So are these jobs paid or volunteer?
Everything is paid, and we do pay by an hour. So it's an hourly rate of pay. We get a typical payroll. for all of our different jobs, wages, which is vary based off of location and the level of position that you're interested in.
Okay, so the salary might be a little different for Olympia National Park than it would be for Lake Powell.
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
so different states and different responsibilities, different seasons, all that other kind of stuff.
Yep,
Okay.
different, minimum wage levels we're looking at, different contracts. So they all differentiate a little bit, but they all pay an hourly rate.
Okay.
And then some positions do get tips on top of that.
Okay. Now the hourly rate, does that typically follow the state minimum wage then?
It would either follow it or be higher.
Okay.
So again, it just depends on the position. But typically in many of our locations, it's either at minimum wage or higher.
Okay. Very good. Are there any other perks that come along with that?
We offer a lot of perks in our locations, which I think is really great to call out. Outside of the fact that you're making a paycheck and you do have to pay for your RV site, but it's minimal. Most of the time, an RV site is $20-$30 a week, just to make sure that kind of covers the area. But outside of just that piece of having kind of a great place to live, is we offer discounts on properties to all of our employees. So discounts in the retail shops, on food and beverage. Some of the locations even offer employee meal plans. If you don't want to cook for yourself, you could participate in that. If you want to cook, obviously you've got your RV to do that in. Additionally, a lot of times we offer discounts on our recreation that we provide. So for example, at Lake Powell, there are discounts to rent a boat and go out on a power boat for out on the lake, or there's kayaking and paddle boarding you can do for free. We also offer, and some of our other ones, like a Crater Lake, we do boat tours, and any employee of ours gets the opportunity to go on those for free. So really the activities that we operate within our parks, we try to make them free or heavily discounted to all of our team members, so they can participate, really explore the area. Because if you're coming to one of these locations, you're typically coming to see it. So we want to make sure you get the chance to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of our locations will also offer referral bonuses or season completion bonuses. So if you work a full season, there's a cash bonus at the end. And some of those details are available on our website.
That's neat. Now, can you rent houseboats at Lake Powell? Are those available?
Those are available. There is what they call a houseboat incentive out at Lake Powell. So if you complete your season, you actually get a incentive, and there's some pre-qualifications around it of working the full season and a few things. But you can actually take out a houseboat for almost free. You have to pay insurance and gas, but then can take some of it out. So there's some really great perks available if you're able to complete that season. Then you can go do some of those really great activities.
Now, that would be a great way to go down the rapids of the Colorado River in a houseboat.
That would be a little scary.
It would indeed. So what kind of traits or qualifications are you looking for in work campers?
Yeah, it's a great question. So from a special skills and training standpoint, most of the training that is needed will provide to them. So if they want to come in on a specific role, say in food and beverage or in our gift shops, we're going to train them on how to use our registers, how to use the different processes. If they need a food handler certification, we'll help them get that. So a lot of that training can be done after you get the job. More so, I'd say if you're trying to get into a very specific position, maybe in a maintenance role or something that's skilled, mechanics, that type of stuff, you would be looking for you to come with some experience in those. But so it really is going to be position dependent.
Okay, so you don't really need any special licenses or things like that, but if you're going to be fixing air conditioners, then you probably should have some experience doing that, because you're not going to train people how to do that.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
If you're going to do those skilled ones, we'd love you to come with some experience first.
That's great. Now, do you have jobs available for 2022 season?
We do have jobs available for 2022 season. We are actually just started our recruitment this month.
Just started. Okay, so all four of the parks, Lake Powell, Mesa Verde, Crater Lake, and Olympic National Forest, they all have positions available.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
We posted our jobs on our website, and they are currently actively interviewing for people to fill our roles.
Okay.
So now is the perfect time to apply if you're interested.
And how do people do that?
It's a great question. So we direct them to our website. Our website is hmcareers.aramark.com. A little funky, but if you could also just search Aramark Destinations in Google and it'll take you to us. We're the only ones out there. But you just go to our website, you can view by park, you can see photos of the park, you can read more information about each one, and then you can view all of our jobs. If you find one you're interested in, simply apply online, and then we'll be back in touch to set up an interview. If there is someone who has questions or runs into trouble, they can also contact us directly. Our email is destinationsjobs@aramark.com.
Okay. And how long does it normally take to make a hiring decision?
So I would say the longest wait period is from when your application comes in and when we can get the interview scheduled. You may see about 5 to 7 days it takes to get the interview set up, just due to volume. We're working through them all. But typically after you get that interview, an offer is made within 24, 48 hours.
Oh, wow. Very good. And then you send out a letter to everybody?
Correct. Yep. You would get an email with the letter and typically a phone call from the manager extending you the offer, and you could start going through our paperwork. If you do get hired on, I will call out, our company does require background checks, and some positions do require a drug screen. So you can discuss that with a manager during the interview to understand if you have any concerns there.
Okay. So all of the positions require background checks?
They all require background checks. Yep.
And that's because you're operating as a federal contractor, right? I think they are the ones who are the driving force behind that.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, very good. And then the drug screens are for the really specific things where people could get in trouble if they were high on the job.
Yeah, they're really safety sensitive. So if you're driving vehicles, we're going to make sure you're okay and safe to drive them.
Yep.
So it's more of a safety sensitive thing on that side.
Okay, very good. What can a Workamper do if he or she really wants to stand out and get you guys to select their application?
So if you put "I am traveling by RV" at the very top of your resume, we love that.
Is that right? Okay.
Very much so. I know it sounds silly, but we go through a lot of resumes and applications, and it's always actually very helpful to us when you see someone at the top that says, I'm an avid work camper seeking for a position with you, or I am traveling by an RV. It just lets us know that obviously you fit in that category, because the work campers are a huge population of our workforce. So being able to pick out who is actually a work camper and standing out that way, we are always very excited to find anyone who's in that spot and very eager to speak to them. So putting that at the top of your resume, or simply even emailing us. Like I gave that email address earlier, the destinationsjobs@aramark.com. Email us there, say, hey, I heard you. Here's what I'm interested in doing, and we'd love to get you connected.
I understand you brought a guest with you to help with this podcast. I brought an avid work camper himself with us. Okay. Why don't you introduce him to us?
Yeah, I brought with me Josh Butler. He works out at Lake Powell Resorts and Marinas. He does actually live in his RV on property out there on the Arizona side. So I was excited to bring him along. He's got a long history with our company, working through multiple different positions, which I'll let him kind of touch base on what he does now and where he comes from. But very excited for him to join us.
Super. Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks, Lindsey.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing this.
Sure. So I've been coming up here seasonally from 2013 to 2019. And just doing seasonal jobs, and it's been really great. I was recently married about 3 years ago, and that's when we came up here, and my wife came up here, and we just fell in love, and now we've been full time here for 3 years.
Okay, and so both of you are work campers.
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. What kinds of jobs do you do?
So in 2019, when we moved here, I was a seasonal bellman. And that was great. And then I started to look for a full-time opportunity. And I was offered a maintenance position. I had some maintenance experience. And I took that. And I've worked my way up in the company now, 3 years later, to an operations manager. And it's really how far you want to take it. There's great opportunity out here. And the area, there's just so much to do in the area as well. That brings a work camper. And that's what brought me back all these years. It's gotten to that point where I'm so attached to this place. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So what attracted you to Aramark in the first place?
So I actually grew up in Page. I've been between Phoenix and Page for many years. And just working out here on the lake, I had friends. So it was really word of mouth that Aramark was put on my radar.
And what do you like best about work camping?
What I like best is I love RV living. it's great now because we don't have kids. So I'm sure when we get kids, I'll be getting out of work camper. But for the time being, we just love being out here, and you can't beat the views being a work camper. You really can't.
Mm-hmm. And so what kinds of things are you able to do up in Lake Powell when you're not working?
Sure. So to what Lindsey was saying earlier, in the area, you can take boats out. There's a lot of perks. Boats are very big here. It's the best way to see the lake, really. And then I feel like we're centrally located. So if you go, a couple hours in one direction, you're hitting the south rim of the Grand Canyon. A couple hours in another direction, there's a lot to see on the reservation, the Navajo Reservation. You've got Monument Valley. You've got the Antelope Upper and Lower Canyon. Horseshoe Bend is right in town. That's world known at this point. And also just outside towards Utah, you're looking at Zion National Park, Arches, Bryce. So we definitely go to all these locations on an annual basis, being so close to everything.
What's the weather like up there?
Weather through the summer, it's pretty dry. It's hot. We're in the desert. And you only get a couple weeks here where it's over the hundreds, I feel like. But for the most part, you're looking at anywhere from the low 70s to the high 80s, I feel.
Mm-hmm. All right. But it is a desert heat, right? So it's not got that humidity with it.
Definitely. It's dry.
Okay. Super. What's one thing that you wish all work campers knew before coming to work at Aramark?
Something to keep in mind is we have a lot of full hookup sites, 30, 50 amp, and living in the desert for sure. That'd be the main thing, I think, coming in as a work camper to this location, you'll need to know.
Now, have you worked for other Aramark properties, or is this the only one?
This is the only Aramark property I've worked for.
Okay. And now you're full-time on staff pretty much.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. Lindsey, we had talked about where people can get more information about the opportunity. Can you mention it again?
Yes, I can. So you can visit our website. It's hmcareers.aramark.com. Or you can email us if you're having any specific questions, and that's destinationsjobs@aramark.com.
Okay. And like you said, there are jobs available yet this summer, so people should jump on that right away.
Yes, and please let us know. Like I said, don't hesitate to reach out and say, heard you on Greg's, podcast, and would love to talk more. And if you send us an email, I'm one of the people who monitors that email box, so happy to answer any questions that come through there.
Do they get extra points for listening to the podcast?
Well, of course.
Of course. Super. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. This has been good. It's always nice to know that you guys are around hiring a lot of work campers. Those, like I said before, are gorgeous destination parks and lots of work camping opportunities and a variety of things for people to do. So a great way to spend the summer. I'd encourage people to check it out. Any other last words from either of you?
I just appreciate you letting us come back on. I'm sure I'll continue to join you again in the future, but I really encourage anyone who is interested, please contact us. As Greg mentioned, great locations, great opportunities, and we'd love to speak with you.
Super. Josh, you got anything to say?
No, thanks, Greg, for having me on. I appreciate it.
I'd like to thank Lindsey Jaroszek, the Talent Acquisition Account Manager for Aramark Hospitality, for joining me today, along with Josh Butler, the Operations Manager at the company's Lake Powell location. Josh first started working for Aramark in 2013 by performing seasonal jobs at Lake Powell. In fact, he started as a bellman at the hotel. But he fell in love with the area and kept returning every year. When he got married in 2019, Josh and his wife moved to Lake Powell permanently so he could become operations manager at the property. Not only did Josh like the scenic views he got to enjoy as a work camper, but he also liked all the activity he could enjoy when he wasn't working. The ability to work his way up from a hotel bellman to operations manager says a lot about the scope of opportunity available to work campers through Aramark. Not only can they spend one season working at a park in Arizona, then get a job next year in Colorado, Washington, or Oregon, but people can actually work their way into full-time jobs if they wanted to pursue that route. No special skills are needed to work most of the jobs for Aramark. Bus drivers will need a commercial driver's license, and it's helpful that people performing maintenance are skilled in the jobs they'll perform. but for most of the other positions, Aramark provides on-the-job training. The first step to getting a job is to go online and visit careers.aramark.com. That lists thousands of positions around the country. If you want to narrow that down to work camping jobs available to people with RVs, then search for Aramark Hospitality. People can complete an application online or send an email to jobs@aramark.com. It may take a week after receiving the application to set up an interview, but work campers are likely to receive a job offer within 48 hours after that. Because Aramark is a federal contractor, all work campers will need a background test and perhaps a drug test too. The most helpful thing work campers can do to get their applications to stand out is to note they are traveling by RV near the very top of their resume. Lindsey said that generally pushes applications to the top of the stack for jobs in Aramark's Destinations division. But apply soon because the company is looking for people to start as early as 12 weeks from now. Today's episode is sponsored by The Dreamer's Journey. It's an online course and community produced by Workamper News. Life is way too short to keep your dreams on hold, so don't be held back by fear because you were designed for more. Get started in the RV lifestyle the right way with this comprehensive guide. For just $29.95 for 1 year of access, Dreamers have unlimited viewing of 50-plus videos to learn things like what type of RV to buy, goal setting, how to budget for the adventure, developing a positive mindset, setting up a domicile, and operating a small business on the road, plus everything about work camping and how to find the right job for you. Each video is 30 to 90 minutes long to give in-depth coverage on each topic. There's no wrong time to get started, so for more information, visit www.rvdreamersjourney.com. That's all I have for this week's show. Next time, I'll speak with a couple who landed a work camping job in Alaska, and they'll tell us all about it on the next episode of The Work Camper Show. Thanks for listening.